My name is Dan Stalilonis. I am the VA Liaison to the Road Home program. And basically that is working with the Road Home program regarding any VA-related issues. So basically it starts with us providing records to the Road Home program from VA in order for the providers to get a better sense of the veterans that are coming into the program, so they can get a sense of their history and some of the other things that they need to know about them. And then when the veterans are here, we give them an opportunity, if they need it, to use the VA services. If anything, medical comes up while they're here, they can come over to the VA and use the facility. So sometimes folks will need to use the ER, and other folks will have other medical issues that we can help address while they're here. And then kind of most importantly, when they return home, that's kind of when the VA really kind of kicks in on our end. Veterans get a really good base while they're here. I tend to refer to it as riding the ship. And so they get on the right path while they're here. And then when they come back to VA, they get a chance to kind of keep that momentum going. So that's where we come in. We'll make referrals. So if they need, medical appointments or mental health appointments when they return, or if it's something like pulmonary or basically any of those kind of issues, we can get those taken care of. A lot of things will come up while they're in treatment here that they didn't realize that they needed, that now when they return home, they do realize that they need, like acupuncture and some of those things that they're exposed to while they're here. My favorite part is getting veterans what they need, which is sort of talks to the connection that VA has with the Road Home program. So it starts with just sitting down with folks and introducing myself and kind of getting a sense of who they are. Connect on what hometown you're from or sports teams that they like or something along those lines. And then we start to talk about what their needs might be when they return home. And it gives me an opportunity to kind of offer a way forward. Some folks have had a good experience at the VA, other folks haven't. So it gives me the opportunity to say, okay, well, if it went well, great, let's keep that going. If it didn't go well, let's get a chance to try and provide some services when you get back. Let's bring some people in that maybe you hadn't talked to yet. So that sort of combination of things helps us to get folks taken care of when they get back home, which is, like I said, the whole point of the program. They get the services and they, like I said, they right the ship here and get on the right path, and then when they get back to VA, it's our turn to make sure we keep it going. What I've found is that veterans initially when they were coming here, in the early days of the program, a lot of them hadn't been to the VA in a long time because they hadn't had a positive experience, or when they got out, it wasn't, they weren't set up the right way. So they benefit from being here and then coming back to us because things have changed over at VA in the same way that the program's always evolving at Road Home as well. There's two that come to mind that are kind of right at the top of them. One of them is that we had a veteran who was part of this program who needed a wheelchair, and we were able to get her one from VA for the duration of her time here, which was a big deal for that time frame, and I made it basically the difference between her being able to participate and not being able to participate in the program. So that was huge, and that was awesome, and it was completely about the collaboration between the two programs. Another one that happened more recently, there was a veteran, I think she got out in mid-2000s, and didn't have a good experience getting linked up with services. I don't even think she was ever service connected. So she kind of strayed away and wasn't able to get what she needed from VA. But she came here, and I had a chance to introduce myself, and we talked some more about some of the areas and barriers that she ran into. And then we were able to sort of reevaluate, get her in at the women's clinic, and then get her service connected. So that was a big, huge change that she probably wouldn't have had she not come here. So I look at that as a very specific success related to interaction with the program. So I would say that the initial barrier is always just kind of like inertia. People get out and they have a bunch of other stuff that they're doing, and getting linked up is not really going to help them in their mind. A lot of people will leave the military just kind of eager to get out, not interested in re-engaging. So I think what this program does is it helps sort of bring to light the things that people need, and it helps them to understand they can ask for those things and understand that they're worthy of getting them. And then it's on us at VA to make sure that we're doing our part and respecting them when they come in the door, and making sure that they feel welcomed and that they're going to get what they need, and that we're accountable. And one of the things that I do every time I introduce myself, I basically say, listen, we're here for medical needs while you're here, and then we're here to make sure that when you get home you have what you need. But I'm giving you my card because I want you to call me if it doesn't work out. If it's my fault, we need you give me a call, let me know so I can fix it. If it's somebody else's fault, we want them to fix it too. But either way, you need to get the care that you need. And that's kind of the end of it. So for Alaska, what we'll do specifically is they'll come here. And a lot of the times they're doing community care because most folks are in a rural setting up that way on purpose. So in those instances, it's harder to get care just in general. And that's not just to one specific location. It's kind of common a lot of places, Montana and the Dakotas and other places where folks just aren't near the one hospital that's in the state or something like that. So through partnerships with community care and then also working with Road Home that has its own set of referral sources that are might be local to that person in a way that the VA isn't. So working together to try and make sure that that's what the veteran needs, so we can get them that. But basically, what will happen? So in your Alaska incidents, I'll basically call the Alaska VA, I think it's outside Juneau or Anchorage, and let them know this person's returning and they're going to need these kind of services. And if that person's either been active with that VA or needs to re-engage or has never even been, it's an opportunity for us to help them get back in and kind of keep the progress going that they started when they were here. There's distance to the VA is a barrier. There's, I think, initial interaction with the VA, something that a barrier that a veteran might encounter trying to engage in services at the VA. Sometimes it could be location specific where there's, they're far away from a VA hospital. Other times they're getting out of the military and there's a reputation the VA is not going to help you. And other times there is a barrier that they, went in and didn't have a great experience. So those are all things that can happen, and they do happen. And one of the benefits of the Road Home program is that all of those things can kind of be addressed in one way or another. And they do bring the VA back into it. And it gives us one of the things I said early on when I was starting with this program and trying to establish what we were even doing was how do we get people to be okay with working with the VA again, because there were reputational issues. And one of the things we were able to do is, with support of the program, saying, this is VA Dan. He's going to help you out. He's going to take care of things. If he's not going to do his job, we're going to make sure he does. So I felt like there was a lot of trust between me and the staff at the program, and then that filters down to the veterans too. So they know if something's not going right, I can trust Road Home to take care of me, and I can trust that they're not going to have this guy around if he's not going to help. Or if he does, we're going to let him know about it. So I always felt a sense of accountability, and I feel like that was sort of translated onto folks who needed to hear that too. We mentioned some of the barriers that veterans can run into trying to get in. And in some cases, it's because they don't get service connected, and so they don't have any further access to the VA because they don't have the required connection to get the additional services. They're 10% for hearing, but that's kind of it. One of the things that's beneficial about this program is, one, it builds a resume of issues that you can file for. And those are things that people are eligible for and disabilities that people have earned in their service. And I always say, personally, for me, I want to make sure that you're getting taken care of. I don't, some veterans are hesitant, I think, to say, well, I've got this issue and I want to ask for service connection for it because of all the different training that they experience. But in reality, as somebody who's on the outside, I would rather you get this care. I want to see you taken care of, and you've earned it. And so let us do our part and take care of you. You took care of us. So this is another opportunity actually to use the program too. As I said, you're going to get a list of different diagnoses that you, again, have earned through your service. So it'll be an opportunity to leave the program but yeah, you're basically leaving here with a document that you can provide as service, service-connected disability evidence, which is helpful.